We're live.
Okay. So at 10:35, I'll call the Committee of the Whole work session to order, where we support community through quality public service. And in our packets today, we have the minutes of the previous meeting of June 16th, and then on our agenda today, we will receive information from Visit Cook County on the 1% lodging tax budget presentation, maybe some updates from the administrator, and then also in our packets, we have minutes of the standing committees, Airport Advisory, Budget and Facility, and Highway Advisory Committee. So with that, I'll turn it over to Visit Cook County. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pleasure to be here, our annual visit in front of the Committee of the Whole to talk about our 1% budget. I'm going to go back a few years and just give you a little bit of history. Number one, with me today is our new event coordinator, Audrey Mays Trimble. She's in her end of her sixth month?
Fifth month, I think. Yeah, we're getting on half a year.
So that's exciting. And I just wanted to say thank you again. This money that we allocate through a grant program for events and programming throughout Cook County is very, very much appreciated by the community. For instance, we have $90,000 that goes out to support our local musicians every year through a grant program. So those kinds of things have happened. So thank you to the commissioners to support this. It was put in place in 2008. And went up for renewal. I needed all of your approval prior to going to the Capitol and testifying, and we were able to secure this for another 15 years. So whenever you have a chance to thank our lodging properties for collecting that lodging tax, it's important. It's what we function on. So in front of you, and we're going to tag team if necessary. Please feel free to jump in. I know I don't want to make you nervous. Just wanted to make sure that you saw what our organizational chart looks like because of the dual directorship of Visit Cook County and the Chamber of Commerce. Wanted you to see that there are truly 5 boards within both of our organizations that we manage as a team down from our offices. Copying didn't turn out really well, but we have a team of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including our information center. Our information center is critical to a lot of people in that, you know, on a normal summer day, we can get upwards of 140 people just wanting to come in and pick up maps, and the folks over there are really, really intelligent on everything that's happening. The 1% lodging tax just goes over what that looks like. We have a grant program. We have really honed in on that. Audrey's picked up some pieces, added some pieces, really making people in the true grant world accountable for the dollars that they've received and giving us information back. How did this affect tourism? You know, what did you use the dollars for? Are we recognized as a supporting organization? Those kinds of things. So, and that is very much a request by our 3 tourism association boards who allocate this funding, as well as the Visit Cook County Board of Directors. Lodging tax overview, I'm just going to keep it, I know we have a lot going on, so for those of you, I think everybody understands lodging tax. I would say that on page 8, when you see live music, community, arts and culture, outdoor recreation, we have built into our program trail support for not only snowmobiling, but we have all kinds of trail support that we are helping with as much as we can, and events that surround our trails. So very important. And again, this money, and I think this is, I've said this and I will say it time and time again, the strength of Visit Cook County really comes from the cohesiveness and the work that we do with our 3 tourism associations, Gunflint Trail, Grand Marais, and Lutz and Tofty Schroeder. And then we also work very closely with Grand Portage, and we allocate funding to them for a lot of their events, even though they don't collect lodging tax as a sovereign nation. I think that's very important to see. So the amount of available funding is based on the Tourism Association's area of 1% lodging tax. So it's different for every association. Lutz and Tofty Schroeder being the largest lodging tax community in Cook County, of course, has the most dollars to allocate. And the Gunflint Trail has the least because they have the least amount of collection. That said, all very important. Gunflint Trail, that strength that I'm talking to you about, when they sit down and they allocate $10,000 to the canoe races, was it 10? Yep. So, you know, they understand the needs of their community, and I truly believe that that is a foundational impact for Visit Cook County's strength, because we have multitudes of voices talking about multitudes of needs, and as we all know, every area of Cook County is vastly different than the other. So I think that's really important. We have also included this year's 26-27, our fiscal year kicked off May 1. We have included, this kind of, yeah, this was a quick copy job this morning. So the budget is included for you. You can see it's separated by Jamada, GTA, and LTTA. I think it's also really important to know that Lutsen Mountains is our partner as well. And yes.
Can you just walk through those acronyms for anyone who
Oh,
may be
sorry.
listening?
Jamada is the Grand Marais Area Tourism Association. GTA is the Gunflint Trail Association. And LTTA is the Lutsen Tofty Tourism Association. And long been talked about, why isn't, you know, Schroeder included? I wasn't here, don't blame me, don't kill the messenger. I might have included Schroeder in that LTTA one. And LMC is Lutsen Mountains Corporation.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, I'll take any questions. Audrey will take any questions. But we're here every year, and I know our brains are exploding right now with all kinds of other things that we are doing. And I would just add to that, with my chamber hat on and Visit Cook County and our tourism economy, I am all about inclusivity and all of us working together every day to get through all kinds of things. So even though I'd rather over-communicate in times like this than under-communicate, and it causes me to lose sleep when I'm going, I miss this. So I just appreciate your leadership, so thank you.
Any questions or comments for Linda?
You're welcome.
Administrator Treble. I do have one question, thank you, Madam Chair. Are there any significant changes moving ahead?
You know, there could be. There's not any at this point, other than I would say on the Visit Cook County marketing side of it. 1%, you know, we work really hard and diligently through that budget, and we really communicate very, very succinctly with our associations as to what we can predict is going to happen. I guarantee you, the strike to our economy right now, after just getting out of Grand Marais, is going to look vastly different. The budget is going to look different next year. I'm having a little bit of COVID post-traumatic stress, but then it wasn't the same. You know, this is so pocketed. So I don't see anything predictable other than there will be less money, because this is our bread and butter month.
Yeah.
And even the outfitters, which I am, you know, after talking with 3 outfitters on Saturday about what we can do, and I'll add this right now, as moving off this but into this. I will add that if they have bunkhouses, they collect lodging tax. And all lodging people are partners, whether they want to be or not. They are included in all of our stakeholder marketing for free because of the work they do to collect our income to operate. So I think that's really important to remember. Yeah. And the last thing I would say is I think it's really important, and we're shifting our marketing right now to really focus on the webcams that we have all over the county. So important to show mid-trail, Gunflint Trail. We have them at Gunflint Lodge, Bearskin, Rockwood, downtown Grand Marais, 2 on the harbor, and Lutsen Mountains. So all the areas in question, I mean, that's what I'm telling hoteliers right now. Just tell them to jump on visitcookcounty.com/webcams. You're going to see a place that is still, we're able to travel to. So as scary as all of it is, we have to kind of strike that communication balance.
Yes, Commissioner Gavel.
Thank you, Linda. The question I have, it relates to your grant program. And annually, the amount of monies that are granted, is that reflected on page 1011? You have a breakout of various entities. And what I'm looking for is I'm just looking to see the amount of money that is allocated in grant funding that comes from the 1% and the nature of those recipients. And if 10 and 11 are showing that, or if it's showing the revenue side, okay.
That's exactly what it's showing.
Yeah.
So the bottom totals are the dollar amounts allocated per, tell me,
Per association
Per
by
association.
percentage of lodging tax collected. So when I indicated, you're going to see for Lutz and Tofte Tourism Association a very large dollar amount because they collect the most lodging tax. So we get 3%. That's handled under state statute 469.190 under state law. For lodging tax. The 1% is special. So when we get that 4%, 3% goes to Visit Cook County for marketing, 1% lands here for this grant program. And then it's separated by percentage of lodging tax collected by geographical area.
Is the percentage by geographical area, is that defined by law? Or is
No.
that something that is a matrix that is developed by Visit Cook County and then that policy adopted?
The geographical areas were established when Visit Cook County was established, but even before that, and I don't know that history. I mean, the Gunflint Trail Association launched in 1938.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's lots of history here,
Yeah.
and there's lots of history with lodging tax collection. Brady, you've been around longer than I have when it comes to the geographical areas.
Yeah, I mean, those
What
are,
happened in 1938?
I was very young. I was like,
I wasn't saying it that way.
yeah,
I'm 100 years old.
yeah. No, they're all established by resolution, so they're defined boundaries for
Yeah.
each one, because it doesn't, none of them cover the absolute entirety of Cook County.
Yeah. But when we first came here, I mean, it was individual, everybody's individual. And
Right,
I'd
all
looked
the
at-
associations
And I'd looked at
operated.
Jamaica and all of the islands, and everybody was
Right.
competing. And so, from a marketing standpoint, it made sense to bring everybody together under the umbrella of one. So my question isn't so much the geographical nature, it is the policy that makes the distribution based upon the revenues collected. If that is something that's defined by statute, or if that's something that Visit Cook County determined how we will allocate those dollars. So, and the reason I ask the question is in the broader context of when we look at our grant programs that fall under different umbrellas, who's being served by those dollars, and to have a context to understand that just helps us to see how these things are funded when we're coming alongside organizations, whatever, to help fund.
I think it's important to recognize that in 2008, the Cook County Events and Visitor Bureau was the catalyst organization that brought all the tourism associations together. We don't have a major event center like the DEC. And so that's when the 1% was adopted, and that's when the groups of associations came together. Shortly, 2 years later, it was like, this is working. We need some parameters around it, but it makes sense that we all come together and discuss what kind of events and programs we want to support. And it was very, very fresh and new. When I arrived in 2013, there wasn't a lot of, I would say, structure still around it. But in 2010, when Visit Cook County then became the organization, these dollars fell to that. Maintaining that each association had to approve being a part of the greater organization of Visit Cook County. And there was some early growth years. Gunflint Trail had a website, Grand Marais had a website, we launched a website as Visit Cook County. So there was some army crawling there going on trying to say this doesn't make sense. But I think they both rose together pretty equally. And There's been a lot of thought process around that. I mean, I remember in my early tenure, Gunflint Trail didn't want to participate in any ads that said anything about the North Shore. So there was a lot of very strategic communication that said without the North Shore, I mean, any Boundary Waters traveler is experiencing this quaint harbor town, and that's one of the draws to get to the Boundary Waters. So does that answer your question, Commissioner?
Well, yeah, if I look at page 10, 11 here, then I can see the entities based upon your formula for distribution related to collections, how that gets distributed. And so is it the geographical region that makes that decision, or is it the board?
The boards.
Yeah, the board makes that
The
decision.
boards make all these allocation decisions, and I will bring to the board, for instance, I can say the impact of, the halo effect of cycling trails in Cook County
Right.
is this. And so the voice that would come to each board of directors, the association boards, would be, you might want to think about supporting, I'll pick a different one, music. Everybody, Lutzen started with a music supplement program long ago. Over the course of the last 10 years, Grand Marais has adopted a music support program. Gunflint Trail has adopted a music support program. Same thing with the arts and culture and, you know, historic Cook County. There's lots of dollars for their programming that are all contributed to by each association. And to me, that's the best, you know, we're all in this together kind of thing, and I don't want to be Pollyanna about it.
Sure.
You know, Lutz and Tofty Schroeder might not want to support the Gunflint canoe races because it's so centric to that area.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's others that have a huge halo effect, not only here in Cook County, but across the Midwest and the whole United States, when you look at us as a culture spot and an art destination.
So I assume there's an application?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that
We should put that in
application.
here. Sure. We can send that application out to you. I would say that this, we'll make sure to do that. I think that what's important to know is that this budget is housed within the entire Visit Cook County budget as well.
Right.
So, and we've really honed in on being able to tell our stakeholders when they're going to receive their money, so we can work on our budget and make sure it balances right. As you can imagine, when our income trails in lodging tax, because it does, these are the months that are really hard for us. You know, our lowest collection of funds is June.
Yeah.
So we're working into the summer pretty quickly, and we balance the payments to our grant recipients as such.
Okay, thank you.
You bet, thank you.
For June, have you thought about like Tick Festival or something like that?
I'm thinking like, I get what you're going for.
It was purely a joke. It wasn't a serious
I'm
question.
thinking of a
It was-
spruce budworm.
Don't add that to my event list, please. I don't know how to plan that.
My head just went to, I can market anything, let's go.
Serious question though.
Yes.
So is it accurate that Lutsen Mountain Corporation's proportion of lodging tax is as great as it is compared to the rest of LTTA?
They collect dollars on their ticket sales. So even though the right word isn't in lieu of lodging tax, it is in lieu of lodging tax. They, in addition to lodging tax, they
Okay.
collect 3%. And we have a structure of payment with them that I am actually brushing off right now, because with the impact of lodging tax collection during COVID and the fluctuation that was so great, same thing with Grand Portage. As a sovereign nation, they don't collect lodging tax, but they came to the table as a true partner in branding, because why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't we tell our big story all together, you know, with all these chapters? But that dollar amount has also fluctuated, because during COVID, the board said, oh my goodness, if anybody suffered the most, it was our area of Grand Portage, and we just said, no, we want you as part of our branding, but you can do it, we're not charging you anything, there's no fee. So in the last 6 years since COVID, that has fluctuated from 0, you know, to 25,000 to play in our branding camp to back to zero. So it's been an interesting journey.
So, Lutz and Mountain Corporation has lodging tax as well as contributes sales tax
Tickets,
Yep.
yeah.
on ticket sales.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Always have, yeah. But without Lutz and Mountains, where would we be in the middle of the winter? They bring in tremendous amount of income.
Okay, any other questions? Commissioner Gamble?
Yeah, thank you. So, with the pending sale of the golf course, that the monies that have been paying on the bonding is coming from the 1% lodging tax.
It is.
And so that's 160,000 annually that has been allocated.
64.
So what is the envision use of
I'll
funds?
tell you what, because, you don't know what you don't know. As we worked through our 26-27 budget, we ignored the fact that we were going to get any money, just because that's just how I would like to do business. I don't like spending money before we have it. And so now I know that there's a potential closing date coming the end of August, which serendipitously is going to work out okay for us financially, because we're going to get slammed with a hit for July and August. So, yes, when that piece of legislation, I was fresh. I mean, first month when this happened, and when the transaction occurred. So, and I think it's important to understand that, there was a lot of very, very insightful people that came before me that created Visit Cook County. In addition, there's 27 pieces of special legislation that divert lodging tax to use for another area, right? This is one of them, and it stated that. I was very unaware of all the covenants that were in place, and I'm happy to see the finish line coming in. We are not going to recognize the dollars until it actually is in the bank, and that should happen in August.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, just one point. That portion of lodging tax that's being affected is 2%, up to 2% of the 3% lodging tax from Lutz and Tofty Schroeder, so it's not part of the 1%.
Okay.
Yeah, because that law was created back in 1988, I think, long before, 20 years before the 1% was created. So just so, it's not coming out of events.
Yeah, it
And
came-
that 3%
Coming out
is
of
much more
regular
restrictive than the
promotion.
1%.
Very much so,
Correct.
and it does not come out of events. This isn't part of the 1% at all. Thank you, Brady, for that clarification.
It's also probably worth pointing out, just for everyone, that this 1% is different
Oh, my
than the
goodness, thank
1% sales tax.
Yes.
Completely. So we keep saying 1%,
Very
but this is
different.
1% lodging.
Yeah, 1% lodging, 1% lodging.
And the
that
1%
gets-
sales tax is not tied to the highway department.
We need a tax organizational chart.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
1%
nice?
gas.
We
Yeah,
see a lot
gas,
of
too.
personnel charts and department charts, but it would be interesting to see a breakdown of the
Yeah.
additional taxes
I'll
to the
send that
sales
out.
tax.
Great
I
idea,
usually like
Brady.
that idea.
I'll send it
And
out.
then where those funds go.
I like it.
And with the 1%, which is the highway, that is not the same.
1.5.
0.5, yeah, it's not the same as the secure rural schools. Money that comes in.
No.
So that is strictly highway. And when we looked at implementing that, we're not a big county, so it's going to be incremental, but every dollar helps. So we've seen how we've been able to apply that as that fund is built, so.
We could create another position to look into all of these percentages and on the side help Brady.
In all seriousness there, speaking of other positions, and we will be, having that bond paid off or whatever, there's been a lot of talk in the community of grant writing, right? It's really tough financially for all nonprofits, all organizations, even the county, as far as how can we be creative to try to serve more people in our community. And I think there could be a lot of value to have community grant writers just,
And we have
Doing
them.
that.
We should just put a,
well, right.
we should put some
We should-
structure around the fact that.
We should put them in prison and they can write grants for us. No, it just, to have more structure around that and to be maybe more widely advertised as community grant writers or some kind of organization there, because I think there's a lot of potential to leverage
Yeah.
that rather than,
I can put my chamber hat on with that one for sure.
it's an idea.
And I think to that point, as an example, I mean, the rationale and the evidence of it, the benefit, is that when you look at the highway department and how the highway department is operated, that the focus on freeing up by creating some additional positions within the highway department so that Robbie is able to submit applications. The amount of money that we have generated that has funded infrastructure here is amazing. And we have other examples where we're beginning to see that. We could say that if the environmental position is more than funding itself through the benefit of dealing with invasives as well as creating revenues to fund the position, those are positive signs of being creative that aren't levy dependent.
Exactly.
Okay, anybody else? All right.
Get me
Thanks.
out of here before I have to hire a grant writer to write it myself.
Thank you, team.
Thank you for all your time. Stay in touch. You're all doing a great job during this uncertain time.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the
And
team.
we'll move on to our last item, Administrator Trouble. Do you have any other updates?
I do. Just a reminder, since now we're on a different live stream, I wanted to make sure that I reminded the community that we do have a community meeting this evening in Lutzen at 7 p.m. We will have our federal partners that are assisting us with the wildfire, NIMO, there to present on the current aspect of the fire and the steps that we're taking to mitigate risk. I also wanted to mention that we are working on issues at the Y. That is something that we've been hearing about, is the pool being shut down and the air quality. So we are currently working to solve for those issues as well. So those are my updates.
Okay. Thank you on that, and there be no further business. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Be able to catch Linda still if you want.
I have a thing that says there's a 1 to 2